when you are setting off on your fitness journey, right? And you have your training plan, you have your meal plan, rarely is anybody able to follow their training plan and their meal plan perfectly. You do not have to be perfect in order to make progress, okay? Your body does not require perfection to move towards the direction that you're trying to go. Now, you do want to, most of the time, stick to your plan because your body is gonna reflect what you do most of the time, but you don't have to be perfect, right? And so like if you miss a workout here and there, you're not gonna lose all of your progress. If you have a day where like you go off plan in terms of your eating, you're not going to all of a sudden gain all of your weight back. Sometimes though, things pop up that just make it hard to stick to your plan over the long run. Like maybe you have a couple of weeks, something's happened in your life, some kind of big life change has happened. You break up, you get into a new relationship, you get a new job, you have a new baby, something like that changes your entire routine of life. When your routine of life is disrupted, then yeah, your fitness routine is also just going to be disrupted. It happens, that's kind of part of it. And that is okay. What I suggest as a coach, when you are heading into a situation, or if you look back on your your progress over the last couple of weeks and realize, hey, I've had a really hard time hitting my workouts. It's just like a continuing problem. Or hey, I'm having a hard time sticking to my diet plan. It's this continuing problem. There's a couple of ways that you can approach this. One, by doing some reflection and figuring out what are the obstacles here? What are the obstacles that are in my way? And this is why reflection can be so important and such a powerful tool to keep you moving forward and making progress. If you reflect on it and the obstacles that are keeping you from, doing your workouts consistently or showing up for your meal plan consistently, if those obstacles are things that you can pretty easily fix with just a little bit of planning, then do that, and come up with some ways, come up with a plan, a strategy to overcome those obstacles, in the coming weeks, and practice working on practicing like overcoming those obstacles. Make that a goal, okay? However, if the obstacles that are in your way are systemic things like, new job, new schedule, maybe you got sick, someone in your family is sick, and just your schedule is just like not under your control. When that happens and you don't really have a whole lot of control over your routine, it's easy to panic and feel really, really bad and beat yourself up. It's like, oh, I'm not able to make progress. I'm not able to stick to the plan 100%. First of all, remember, you do not have to stick to your plan 100% to make progress. If you're able to do 80% of what your plan is, you will still make progress towards your goals. But sometimes, you have to be ready to scale your plan back to the bare minimum and have what I call sort of like your light mode or your plan B plan, which is your bare minimum plan for activity and exercise that's going to, at the very least, keep you from moving backwards. And I think that this is something that everybody should have in their back pockets, no matter what you're working on, whether it's fat loss or strength training. Understand what your goals are and have like a minimal amount of exercise that you plan on doing, a minimal thing that you're gonna do for your nutrition, just to keep yourself doing something. Because here's what happens, even if you can't do all the things, having a minimal plan that you can fall back on and follow will help keep you moving forward and will keep the momentum, so that when things calm down and you actually have more control over your schedule and your routine again, you will be much more successful at getting back into the more like hardcore, routine where you're working out, 4 or 5 times a week and whatnot. You can add that back in a lot more easily than if you just go completely cold turkey. A lot of people have this issue where they think like it's like an all or nothing mentality. Either they're gonna follow their plan 100% to the T, or they're not gonna do anything, right? And I just, wanna caution you away from that mindset, because that mindset is destructive. It's not all or none. It's not all or nothing. Just doing something, even if all you can do is get out and go for a walk every day, is going to help keep you moving forward, right? And it's also gonna make it easier for you to get back on to a more, regimented schedule for your training. So I would encourage you to come up with what's your bare minimum plan. That way, if something happens, your routine gets, goes crazy or something happens and you're not able to do, your full plan, then you have something that you can fall back on. So for one of my clients who's trying to burn fat, but also keep up with their technique and their powerlifting, what I've made their bare minimum plan for them to do while they're in this really, really busy time period, they're not able to get in their 4 or 5 workouts a week like they normally would. And trying to is driving them crazy. So what I've encouraged this client to do is okay, you know what? We don't have to do the full workout and you don't have to do all 4 or 5 workouts every week. Why don't we just make sure that at least twice a week, we're lifting once and we're hitting your compound lifts. Get your squats, get your deadlifts, right? As long as you hit squats once a week, as long as you hit deadlifts once a week, and maybe you do the accessories, maybe you don't, that is going to carry you and keep you from moving backwards. That will help to keep you from losing muscle. You might not build as much as you would if you were doing the full program, but that will keep you moving forward. So that's what I encourage. And that is the advice I would encourage for everybody to take, is if you don't have the time to go to the gym and do a full, bro split routine, maybe you only have twice a week that you can get something in, I would prioritize getting the compound lifts, squats and deadlifts. The reason being, squats and deadlifts are full body. You will get your whole body activated and stimulated by doing squats, like back squats with the barbell, and deadlifts. The more muscles you can stimulate at once, the more potential for muscle gains you're going to get. So you will get the most bang for your buck by focusing on compound lifts. And really, the science shows that you only really need to stimulate the muscles once every 72 hours to keep them from breaking down. So that means twice a week, right? So as long as you're lifting squats and deadlifts twice a week, you can keep the pipes from freezing, right? That's a great way to scale back your fitness routine if you're going through something. Just try to get those in, and that's gonna be better than nothing.